Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you for joining me today. I have here on my mat, this is one of the 2-point hex pendants. They're 8 by 40 millimeters, and this is from the Double Beads of the Month Club, and it's Dragon's Blood Jasper. I love this gemstone. So if you want to see all the other beads that are included in this list, please check out the link in the description for the complete unboxing. We are going to be using the 2-point pendant, and then I'm also going to be bringing in some of these hishis because I think we're going to have time to make a couple of necklaces. Now, when I originally had thought this out, I thought, oh, well, I will just add some wire and just loop it on the ends and then attach some chain. Well, then I thought about it and I thought, well, I kind of want the wire to go out a little bit more than just right at the bead. So that's why I thought of bringing in some memory wire. So I have some memory wire in an antique brass. And then I have some tools here. I have some bent chain nose pliers. I have some regular chain nose pliers. I have the 6-step bell making pliers. You can use round nose pliers. And most importantly, I have some memory wire cutters. Memory wire is a lot different than your craft wire or German style wire. So you want to have the right cutters for that because you can really tear up your normal craft wire cutters by trying to cut the memory wire with that. So when I was thinking about it, I thought, well, I kind of want it to be a little kind of swoopy out here and then have the chain. So that's what we're going to do. And this is all coiled up, and I only want about maybe a little less than half. Maybe a little less than half, because I don't want it to be too long. And then what I'm going to do is, actually what I'll do first is I will add well, first you want to make sure that your bead is going to fit on there, and it does. And so I was just kind of thinking, and then I would do a couple of loops here on the end and then attach some chain. Kind of cute. I didn't want it to go all the way around because I just want this to be showcased, and that was just an idea. So we'll see how it pans out. So we're going to go ahead and use a 6-stepper, and I am going to go ahead and use, I think I might use the smaller of the two. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outwards. And I used to have memory wire bales, and I broke them both. Yeah, I broke them both. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I chose these because they're a little sturdy too. All right, so there we go. We have one. Let's remember to put on our bead before we do the other side. We're going to do the other side doing the same thing. And I'm just twisting my wrist away from me and just coming up with this. Now, if you wanted, you can make it a little bit shorter. You could do it however you want. Okay, so those are gonna go put away. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in some chain, and I have this chain assortment, and this is from John Bead, and I either got this at Michael's or I got this online, and I think Walmart has them too. I could be wrong, but we're gonna go ahead and use some chain, and I think there's 2 different sizes. So you have this really small curb chain, and I think I'm going to use the larger one. Yeah, let's go ahead and use the larger one. And what I can do is, and it comes in different colors. So you have kind of like an antique silver, a bright silver, and this antique bronze and gold. So what I'm going to do is open up, and it's very, memory wire is that, it's memory wire. And I'm just going to open it up a little bit and slide on the chain. And then get that back bent into place. Okay, and I want to make sure there's no gaps I don't want that chain to come out. And if you want, you can actually add, you can add more of a loop on that too. I feel like it's not, nope, it's not. Again, memory wire is that. It is memory wire. It will go back into place. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna check and see how long I want this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna come in with some cutters. These are open link, but it just went flying. They are open link, but if I open them, I'm not gonna close them and use them again. But now I want to get the same, you just kind of have to help it along. And so I want to get the same length. So let's go ahead, and I always try to keep a needle right here because I always lose them, always. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see if we can get the same number of links. It's kind of a little difficult here. I'm doing this so difficultly. It's not this difficult. All right, so let's go and let's get that on there. I want it on the last one, just like so. All right, and let's see if we can try and get it about the same length. Well, you want it the same length. Well, I mean, if you want to. Okay, so let's go ahead and just hand that out, and we will go right there. And just cover. And again, these are open links, but I just always cut them because once you start opening them, then you weaken them. All right, so there we go there. Okay, now let's get the other side attached. And you can use your 2 chain nose pliers. I like using the bent one just because it's a little more, I feel like it's more comfortable. It's more of a natural, let's see if we can get this on there. It's more of a natural feel. Okay, and then get that on there. Make sure that it's not, yep, that's perfect. Oh, how simple is this? And I love it. I love it. Okay, so now what I have is I have some jump rings, and then I have this real thick, this is a real thick jump ring. I don't like using open jump rings for my for attaching, but I will when it's like this, and especially, and it's mine too. This is mine. So then also from John Bead, I have this assortment. This is lobster clasp assortment, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use the larger one. And again, there's the bright silver, the antique silver, antique brass, and then the bright gold. I love those little assortments. They stay on my desk here. And then I just have some little jump rings. This one's 5mm. I think it's a 5mm jump ring. And the other jump ring, be sure to attach your lobster clasp. The other jump ring, I think, is 8mm, but it's just nice and big. Okay, and then close it up. And again, this one is nice and thick. I have no problem at all doing an open jump ring when it's this thick, especially when it's my necklace. Okay, and get that closed up. And there we have just a quick and easy necklace using one of those little hex. That's just pretty, and it flows around. But since you're using the memory wire, it's not, this wire here is not going to change its shape. And so there we go. Kind of cute, huh? I love it. I really absolutely do love it. And so there we have it for this one. Now we're going to go ahead and do a second necklace, and we're going to use these little, I'll get this all nice and photographed too, but we're going to use these little hex, not hex, but hishis. And 2, 4, 6, I think, because I'm going to use some 18 gauge wire. I think it'll fit. Yeah. Use some 18 gauge wire. Let's see how many I want to do. Because I'm just going to, again, attach this to some chain. I think 6. So we have 6. I might do 8. Let's just do 8. Okay, and this is, again, this is the 2, it's like 2 to 3 millimeter by 4 millimeter. We're going to use 8 of them. And I'm using 18 gauge vintage bronze. Okay, so I'm going to get a nice good flush cut. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the smallest on here, but you can use any size you wish. And you want to get as close to that end as possible. And I'm only using this so that I have the same size loop on both sides. Okay, and so now I have what looks like this, but I do want it to look more centered. I do want it to be centered. And so then I'm just going to take that and move it just like so. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. And then what I'm going to do on this side is I am going to, maybe that's a little too thick. Maybe that's a little too thick. Let's see what it does with 20. As you can see, I'm almost done with my 20. Where's the, there it is. Maybe I have to use 20. Let's try that. Okay. Give it a good flush cut. And I think I used 8. 1, 2, 3. We'll go ahead and use 8 from here. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So pretty. All right, let's go ahead and do the same thing and get that close to the end. This is way far away from my face. So I think I got to the end. And then you get to the end. I'm almost there. Almost. There we go. Okay, and then go ahead and give it a bend. Okay, make sure it's nice and let's see if it does the same thing with the 20. No, I like how it looks with the 20 better. Let's grab this. And I'm working from the spool just because, you know, I don't want to have to waste. I like how it looks on the 20. The only thing is it'll bend a little bit more, but that's okay. All right, let's go ahead and just give this a little bit of a trim. Then what I'm going to do is, let's make sure that I've got that. All right, so let's turn it this way. Oops, let's see here. We want it to go that way. All right, so I'm going to come down to the end here and then just bend it over, okay, till I get the 90-degree angle bend, which isn't completely 90 degree. Then I'm going to come in and give it a little bit of a trim. So I'm going to waste a little bit there. And then I'm going to come in here with that and just start rolling. And as I get, I can tell that I'm going to be probably a little long. So let's just go ahead and trim just a hair. There we go. All right. And I did just trim just a hair. And there we go. We have our little component here. And if you want, you can do wire wraps, you can do anything. But I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab my chain again, and I'm going to use this one here. And I know that I want it, that's about 1 inch. So well, I'm going to cut my lengths off camera. Okay, so now I have my links. And so now what I want to do is I am just going to open and slide that on and close it. And you can use, I have some, which I had it right here, some German style wire. If you wanted to use German style wire instead of craftwire on that, you can do that too. Let's go ahead and get this one added. This other side. So, I mean, this is so easy. I have a couple of pretty cool necklaces out of this. And this is not using hardly anything from the box. So I have so much more to still use. I'm going to use, again, those little 5mm. Little 5mm. I'm going to attach my, I put my lobster clasp on the big jump ring because I'm using a smaller lobster clasp because there's two different sizes. So I'm using a smaller one on this one. And I wanted to make sure that it fit, and it does. All right, so now let's go ahead and just open this one up. And again, I try not to use open jump rings on stuff like this, but this is a very thick jump ring, and also too, this is mine. So I've used these thick jump rings before on my necklaces, and I haven't had one little spoof or anything yet. Let's just get it at least looking pretty. All right. I cannot get that all the way. There we go. And then here we have just a pretty little dainty necklace with some of those hishis. So pretty. So we have that one. And we have this one, and I'm loving, when you wear it, it doesn't slide off to the side when you're wearing it. I promise. I put it on already. So now we have a couple of really cute necklaces, very easy. It doesn't take very long at all. And using some chain and components from John Bead, using some memory wire. I think this is beadle-on memory wire, and it's in an antique brass color. Added a few jump rings, and there you go. You have a couple of necklaces. So be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it. Also too, if you comment, I love to see what everybody has to say, and subscribe, because we've got tons of other beads that we're going to use. I am going to make a bracelet. So when you watch my unboxing, you will see from the Findings Companion Pack, you're going to see these little links here. And I'm going to use those in a bracelet. And I mentioned it in that video too. And so I am going to use those in a bracelet. And we'll do some wire wrapping and some fun stuff. So be sure to subscribe so you do not miss out on the next video. And until next time, have a good one.